Hello friends, my name is Sontakya Jyoti Balaji, BA first year. I am telling you some information about the story of my life's author, Helen Keller. About the author, Helen Adam Keller was born on June 27 in 1880. She was an American author, political activist, and lecturer. Her father's name was Arthur H. Keller. He was a captain, a former officer of the Confederate Army. Her mother was Kate Adams Keller. Kate Adams Keller. The Keller family originated from Switzerland. Helen contracted an illness when she was 19 months old. It was an acute congestion of the stomach and brain which could have been scarlet fever or meningitis. She did not suffer long from this illness, but it left her deaf and blind. Helen started communicating through sign with her family. In 1886, she was taken to Dr. J. Julian Chisolin, who was an eye, ear, nose, and throat specialist for advice. Who further sent them to Alexander Graham Bell, who was working with the deaf children at that time. Bell advised them to contact the Perkins Institute for the Blind. On reaching there, the school's director put Helen under the charge of their former student Annie Sullivan, who herself was usually impaired. Annie Sullivan begins to teach Helen to communicate by spelling words into her hands, which Helen quickly learned. In 1894, they both moved to New York to attend Wright Humanson School from the Deaf and Horackman School for the Deaf. In 19, Helen gained admission in Redcliffe College at the age of 24 in 1904. She graduated from the same college and became the first deaf-blind person to earn the Bachelor of Arts degree. Annie Sullivan stayed as a companion for 20 long years with Helen, but after marriage her health failing and Polly Thompson was here to keep house. Polly was a young woman from the Scotland who had no experience with the deaf and blind people, but she became a constant companion to Keller. Annie died in 1936 and Helen moved to Connecticut with Polly. Both traveled worldwide and raised funding for the blind. Polly suffered a stroke and died in 1960. After her death, Winnie Corbally remained Keller's companion for the rest of her life. Keller became a world-famous speaker and author. She is still remembered as an advocate for the people with disabilities and numerous other causes. In 1915, she founded the HKI, Helen Keller Institutional Organization, which is devoted to research in the vision, health, and nutrition. Helen traveled to more than 39 countries and became a favorite of the Japanese. In 1912, she joined the IWW, Industrial Workers of the World. Helen wrote several pieces of writing. The earliest was the First King in 1891. Second is the published her autobiography, The Story of My Life, in 1903. The World I Live in 1908. The Out of the Dark in 1913 and My Religions in 1927. She wrote 12 published books. On September 14, in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest civilian honors of the United States. She devoted much of her later life to raising funds for the American Foundation of the Blind. Helen left his world on June 1, 1968 at her home in Connecticut. Her statue was unveiled in 2009 at the United States Capitol building. Her life story is unusual as well as inspiring. Thank you.